Hello and welcome to the France 24 interview. Our guest today is Ahmed Mansour. Thank you very much for being our guest today.
I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning.
You were 12 when your father, Ahmed Mansour, was killed. It was on September 9th, 2001. He was killed by Al-Qaeda. 2 days later, Al-Qaeda struck between towers in New York, setting in motion the U.S. military intervention in your country, Afghanistan. It's now going to reach the 20-year mark. You're here in Paris because the Paris City Council has decided to unveil a plaque where your father will be honored. Exactly 20 years ago, he was actually here in Paris. How significant is this for you?
It's, first of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to all the Paris City Council of Paris and to the Mayor of Paris for making it happen. This is for not just all Africans, for my family, for everyone who fought and who sacrificed their children, against the global terrorism. This is a significant move to be really grateful for. It's for me, it's a really a huge pleasure. It means a lot to us war in Afghanistan, Pakistan, the victims of the global terrorism, or still suffering from global terrorism. These recognitions,
My son was one of the Marines that died yesterday.
it means a lot for us to
And to listen to that.
and to encourage us
Sorry,
to even
I'm on the radio.
work harder, to try harder to stop this global.
My son was one of the Marines that died yesterday.
2019, you decided to enter politics.
20 years and 6 months old, getting ready to come home from Jordan to be with his wife to watch the birth of his son. And that feckless, dementia-ridden piece of just sent my son to die. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning to Marines at my door telling me my son was dead. So, to have her on right before me and listen to that piece of talk about diplomatic with freaking Taliban terrorists who just blew up my son and know nothing, to not say anything about, oh my God, I'm so sorry for the family.
With the Taliban, they
So my son is gone, and I just want all you Democrats who cheated in the election or who voted for him legitimately, you just killed my son.
Doha conference being
With a dementia-ridden piece who doesn't even know he's in the White House, he still thinks he's a senator.
and the Taliban essentially pushed by
I'm going to try and calm down, I'm sorry.
Best kid in the world.
The major reason for
You couldn't ask for any better.
is the deal that has been signed between Americans
Loved
and
his
the
family.
Taliban,
His
which
sisters
was
absolutely
which
adore
was
him.
a
He led his men into that.
It completely destroyed the
And they
balance
followed
of
him.
negotiation.
There's also
But I know in my heart of hearts he was out
for the U.S.
And they followed him through the gates of hell, if that's what it took. And ultimately,
it would be tough.
that's pretty much what he did.
That deadline, how do you see things evolving? I mean, do you want U.S. troops to withdraw as of May 1st, or would you like them to stay because the situation is not stabilized in Afghanistan?
What I can say is that we were always pro-peace. And 2019, when the people rallied behind us and they came to us and asked us and put the position and the responsibility of being the successor of my father upon us, it was not to be against the Taliban. It was to be pro-peace and to be against violence and against destruction. We are still worried about this matter. And regarding the American and regarding them leaving Afghanistan and the deal with the Taliban, what I can say is that we want them to have patience. And what we require is patience regarding the peace in Afghanistan, because
Do you want them to stay after May 1st?
we want patience from them, and we do not want another rush decision just like the Doha one. If there is a peaceful negotiation, if there is a patience regarding the peace, and also to have the EU, which is an important partner and important and a strategic ally. Exactly. That is why I'm here, that we want the EU and we want the French government and we want this strategic partner who stood by Afghanistan during the resistance, during the Soviet invasion, and in the past 20 years to be a major player in the current negotiation with the Taliban and bringing peace in Afghanistan.
But there are no negotiations with the Taliban. It seems they're gaining militarily. We see them on the offense. Yes, they're sparing U.S. troops, but they're not sparing Afghan troops or civilians for that matter. And politically as well. I mean, they have the upper hand. I mean, do you have the feeling that the U.S. is rushing for the door after 20 years for internal political reasons and that they're essentially giving the keys of Afghanistan to the Taliban?
Absolutely. They're not giving keys to the Taliban. They're giving keys to the violence and destruction and conflict. Because if they leave Afghanistan with a rush decision, with a premature peace process, Afghanistan is going to fall onto another chaos and violence and
civil war.
Civil war. Yes, absolutely.
In the north region, are you preparing for war? More than for peace?
The people are preparing for both scenarios. We are very hopeful. We are going to do everything we can regarding the peace process and to bring the lasting peace in Afghanistan. And the peace in the eyes of the people of Afghanistan means, and it has a definition, and it means something. And we sacrifice so much. We both the strategic partners of Afghanistan, the international community, alongside the Afghans, we lost so many people, and it means something for us. But at the same time, if the peace, which unfortunately in the past experience that we had with the other side, it was always used just to fuel the war machine, if once again this peace process and this peace opportunity has been used for such reasons, then the people are ready to pick up arms to defend themselves one more time.
The North is ready to fight the Taliban.
Not the North, the whole of Afghanistan.
The whole of Afghanistan.
And I do want to ask you
the
about
U.S. has also lately, the Biden administration, I should say, put on the table another proposal, a transitional government. President Ashraf Ghani has said, no way, I'm not accepting this, and he's just put out a counter-proposal, I guess that's how you would describe it, to hold early elections in 6 months. Is he right to oppose such a transitional government in Afghanistan, and what do you make of his latest proposal?
Well, I believe we all must make some sacrifices for the sake of Afghanistan. Just the way that we are willing to forgive the people who are responsible for killing my father and assassinating my father for the sake of Afghanistan prosperity and safety and peace. Mr. Ashraf Ghani must also sacrifice his power and his throne for the peace in Afghanistan. And I believe that a transitional government to really bring a peace and a situation for Afghanistan to go forward is not such a bad idea.
So you think he's refusing because it means losing power?
I believe he is refusing because he wants to continue his power. Even the election, if you think about it, we all know what happened in the last election. So the people of Afghanistan, they do not have a very clear and good memory of election. And the election, the situation is not ready for another election. The territories, the country, the safety and security, especially the integrity of the election and clarity of election is one of the major questions.
So a transitional government, it would be with the Taliban?
Has always been able to have a safe haven next door.
Why not?
In Pakistan, and again, the U.S. says it has mountains of evidence that your ISI, other elements of the Pakistan
responsible
military
for transitioning
have
the government, or
the
they're
Taliban
going
in Afghanistan
to make the election
over the years.
happen,
Just in the
they
last
cannot
few
be a
days,
major player in the next government. So we must have a clear idea of the person or the people who are responsible for transition.
In this most recent
fighting,
fighting, so this is going
on right now. Do you think real dialogue with the Taliban is still possible, or do you think that whatever they do is to earn time and prepare for war?
Absolutely. I believe we must talk with Taliban. We must make peace with the Taliban. And they must realize that Afghanistan of today has changed from 20 years ago. And they must realize that the today's generation, they want peace and they want talk and they want dialogue with them. And
sanctuaries
we
to
will
Taliban.
have no problem
Where are these
whatsoever
safe havens?
to accept the
When
Taliban
you-
as the
when we
reality
say
of the
there are
today's
3
Afghanistan's
million
politics
Afghan refugees
and to
in
integrate
Pakistan
them into
who
the
abide by the
Afghanistan
same
political
ethnic group
system.
as the Taliban,
However,
Pashtuns.
we will
Now,
not
there are camps of
sacrifice the
500,000
values.
people.
We
There are
will
camps of
forgive
100,000 people.
the sacrifices,
And
but we will not
Taliban are not some
sacrifice the values
military
that we
outfit.
fought for,
They
such
are
as the
normal
democratic values,
civilians.
such as the
And if
election,
there are
the
some
women's right,
civilians in
human
these
right,
camps,
freedom of
how
speech,
is Pakistan
and
supposed
many
to hunt
other
these
values
people
that we
down?
fought in
How can
the
you
Not
pass
past.
exactly their
centuries?
values.
Let me ask you,
Well,
Mr. Prime Minister, what
we respect them
relationship
and
do
they
you
must
want
respect
now
us.
with the
Your
United
father
States? You've said
was
under no
a
circumstances
promoter
would
of
you
a kind
allow
of
the U.S. to
Swiss
set up
model
the CIA
for
to have any sort of
Afghanistan.
bases
But is it still
in
realistic today, now
Pakistan
20
to
years
support
after, with all this
counterinsurgency?
turmoil, conflict,
But are you saying
and so on?
no
I
cooperation
believe
with
the
the
past
U.S.
20 years
to
and the
fight
past 2 decades is
terrorism?
exactly the proof and evidence for us to know that Ahmad Shah Massoud was absolutely right regarding the system in Afghanistan. The major reason that Afghanistan is in this situation and today's situation is because that we do not have an accountable, a proper system to work for today's Afghanistan. A Swiss model, a decentralized model, which was the dream of Ahmad Shah Massoud, is the only way out of Afghanistan.
Is it realistic?
Because
Is it
when we were in the
Absolutely.
height of that
The majority of
war
Afghanistan,
on
they want
terror
a
which
decentralized
Pakistan
and system,
joined,
a
there were
deconcentration of power.
suicide bombs
Is
taking place all
Ashraf
over the
Ghani
country.
a bad president
Businesses
for
collapsed,
Afghanistan?
tourism
Absolutely.
collapsed. So
Why?
we do
Because
what
he's
we do
playing
not
the
want
ethnic
to
card
be
because of
is part of
corruption,
any
because
conflict. Now, if there's
All
a
of the
conflict
doing the right
going on
thing.
in
All of the above.
Afghanistan and
He
there are
should leave.
bases in Pakistan,
Absolutely.
we then become targets.
Ahmad Massoud, I want
We
to thank
will
you
then
very
become
much
part of a
for
conflict,
being our guest
which
here
we
on the
were
France 24
in the last
interview.
15 years,
Thank you for
and we
watching
do
it,
not want. We
and
want
stay
to be
tuned for more
partners
news.
in peace, but not in conflict.
So what sort of relationship do you want? What do you expect from the United States at this point? You're looking for a trading relationship. What is it that you want your relationship with the United States to be after this very fraught period of the last 20 plus years?
Well, Judy, the last relationship was transactional. Pakistan was more like a hired gun. The US says that we paid you, gave you aid, and that's why you were fighting this so-called war on terror. Pakistan, on the other hand, felt that here was a country which had no need to be part of this war. It loses 70,000. I mean, which other country has lost 70,000 people fighting for someone else's war? So Pakistanis felt that here we were fighting US's war, our economy devastated, aid was minuscule compared to the amount of money we lost in the economy, and yet we were blamed for the failure in Afghanistan. This is the Pakistani point of view. Now, Pakistan's position is very straightforward. We want to help, and we have helped, getting the Taliban to talk to the US, got them on the dialogue table. We have done our bit. Now, what we cannot afford now, if there is civil war, what US wants is bases in Pakistan, if there's civil war in Afghanistan. So, but if there's civil war in Afghanistan, we will immediately get stuck into it. There will be terrorism within Pakistan. We do not want, apart from anything else, our country cannot afford it. We have just recovered from a desperate economic situation, and we do not want to go through it again.
I hear that message. At the same time, do you expect that if the Taliban does succeed in Afghanistan, you're going to have a country next door where women, for one thing, are not allowed to have an education after the age of 8, that you're going to have a country run by a group of terrorists, in effect?
But Judy, what are we supposed to do about it? I mean, here were the US for 2 decades in Afghanistan trying to force a military solution. The reason why we are in this position now is because the military solution failed. Now, what choices have we got? The best choice is that somehow we have a political settlement of Afghanistan where it is, as I repeat, an inclusive government. So Taliban sit down with the other side and they form an inclusive government. This is the best outcome. There is no other outcome because the military solution has failed.
Are you prepared to accept Taliban victory next door? You're saying, in essence, there's nothing more Pakistan can do.
Absolutely. There is nothing more we can do except push them as much as we can for a political settlement. That's all. But what happens in Afghanistan, we can only pray that the people of Afghanistan decide what government they want. And so we hope that that's what will happen in the end. They'll form some sort of an inclusive government. But that's for people of Afghanistan. As far as Pakistan is concerned, we have done what we can.
Last thing, I do want to ask you, take just a moment to ask you about a comment you made about the role of women in your country. You said in an interview last month that women themselves bear a large part of the responsibility for the concerning rise in the number of rape cases in Pakistan. I want to ask you if you truly believe that. I mean, you're someone, you've lived in the West, you've traveled widely around the world. Do you believe women bear a large part of the responsibility for this?
Look, Judy, anyone who commits rape, solely and solely that person is responsible. So let's be clear about that. No matter whatever, how much ever a woman is provocative or whatever she wears, the person who commits rape, he is fully responsible. Never is the victim responsible. My comments were completely taken out of context. They were simply talking about Pakistan society where we are having a sharp rise in sex crimes. And sex crime does not include just women. More than rape, child abuse, which is going through the roof. So my comments were in that context, and it was, I used the word parda. In Islam, parda does not mean just clothes. And parda is not restricted to women only. Parda is for men as well. It means bringing the temptation down in a society. This is what I was talking about, and it was taken out of deliberately. And I have to say, because I know all the interviews I've given, never would I say such a stupid thing where a person who's raped is responsible for somehow. It's always the rapist that is responsible.
Do you believe that the importance in your country of Islam complicates your ability to do something, to take a stronger stand against violence against women?
Absolutely not. Islam gives dignity, respect to women. In fact, let me say, having traveled all over the world, I find that in Muslim countries, in Pakistan, even in other Muslim countries I've seen, women have far more treated with respect and given more dignity. You have odd cases everywhere in the world, but you look at the situation in Pakistan even now, I mean, look at the rape cases here, compare it to Western countries, they are minuscule compared to them. Yes, we have our issues, we have certain cultural problems, every nation has that. But that comes with cultural evolution, with education. But as far as a woman's dignity goes, respect, I can say after going all over the world, this society gives more respect and dignity to women.
Prime Minister Imran Khan, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.